As the dust begins to settle on the end of Christian Horner's time at the top with Red Bull Racing, the secrets of his final days are starting to leak out. Talk of intense arguments within the team and frustrated staff members have been filling tabloid headlines. For Horner, it's all behind him now. 20 years of his life were ripped away with no warning in just one meeting. However, with the Red Bull door slammed shut behind him, another has potentially opened. There has always been one thing that Christian Horner has wanted, but could never have. Something that Red Bull would never have allowed to happen, but that he could go and get. Today, I'll check out Christian Horner's links to Alpine, and why the team could provide him everything that Red Bull never could. So, don't go anywhere. Last week, the shock news broke that Christian Horner had been sacked as Red Bull team principal after 20 years in the role. The 51-year-old had been in charge of the Formula One team since their inception in 2005, leading them to 8 Drivers' Championships and 6 Constructors' Championship titles. With Horner at their helm, Red Bull Racing won almost 25% of the races they entered. However, changes behind the scenes at the team weakened his position. The passing of Dietrich Mateschitz, the Red Bull co-founder who had given Horner his big break in F1, meant that the now ex-team principal lost one of his biggest supporters. There was the investigation into inappropriate behavior, which led to a battle between the board of directors and the majority owners of Red Bull in Thailand. That investigation also pushed Adrian Newey out the door, but he was just the tip of the iceberg-sized brain drain that was happening under Horner's watch. The eventual consequences of it all was what we now see on track. A Red Bull car that isn't able to compete for race wins, and a team that is entirely propped up on Max Verstappen, the star driver of the past decade who looks more and more likely to be making a move to a new team next season. Despite Horner's incredible history, it wasn't enough for the Red Bull board to give him time to sort the mess out, and they threw him out the back door after the British Grand Prix. While the Red Bull board may not be particularly interested in Horner's history anymore, the rest of the grid are more than aware of what he has achieved over the past 20 years, as they've been on the receiving end of drubbings from Max Verstappen and Sebastian Vettel. Horner has plenty of admirers in F1, and it came as no surprise in the days following his exit, talk of him joining Ferrari as team principal began. While a chance to lead the prestigious team may be tempting for many within F1, the Ferrari management structure is everything Horner hates in the sport. The Ferrari board is constricting. They have their fingers in every part of the team's pie, unable to stop themselves from interfering and upsetting the delicate balance of the team's workings. Ferrari is everything that Red Bull was becoming, and everything that Horner didn't want. He loved the freedom he had at Red Bull to do what he wanted, and that was partly why he was removed by the board, as they had no way of controlling him. Going to Ferrari now would be like a dog escaping its collar to run straight into the kennel. No, if Horner wants to take on another role within F1, it'll be one where he has the freedom to act as he wishes. A team whose owners seem to have zero interest in what is happening in F1. A team who actively wants someone to take over all the responsibility for running the team. If such a team exists, it could match up perfectly with what Horner wants. Everyone knows that what Christian Horner wants is what Toto Wolff has at Mercedes. Wolff is a third-part owner of the team, and that gives him powers and freedoms that Horner could only ever dream of, even when he was running Red Bull with the absolute trust and faith of Mateschitz. As James Allen said on the Red Flags podcast, "My hunch, if he comes back to Formula One, it would be in a team where he would be a shareholder, because he looks at Toto and he's jealous of the fact that he's a shareholder. He's jealous of the fact that Adrian Newey got a shareholding for going to Aston Martin. It is a well-known fact that owning a team, or at least a part of one, is what Horner has always wanted. As Red Bull has grown though, owning a team has become impossible for a man like Horner. He doesn't have a fashion empire behind him like Stroll, or a huge manufacturing business like Haas, or the investment banking background that Wolff does. Horner's just a guy who loves motorsport, not an international businessman with more money than sense. Fortunately, there is currently a team on the grid who are desperate for someone else to make running the team their responsibility, but want to keep their presence for the marketing possibilities. Alpine are a team who have only looked partly interested in their F1 team for many years now. They've closed their engine department and handed over the running to Flavio Briatore. Their apathy in the team may present the perfect chance for Horner to finally get what he wants. a stake in a team of his own. Behind the scenes, it seems like Horner could already be getting the necessary pieces together for a part acquisition of the Alpine F1 team. Before I talk about that though, if you are enjoying the video and want to catch more news and analysis from this F1 season, or one of our deep dives into what's happening in F1, such as our recent video on the future of Red Bull racing now Horner has gone, then make sure to press the like button and subscribe to F1 Reverse. Thanks a lot. So while Horner has only been out of work for a week, the signs that he's looking for a move into the Alpine team are there. While speaking on the Race's F1 podcast, Dutch commentator and Formula 1 expert Nelson Valkenburg revealed what he had heard about Horner's future. What he wants most is to be a team owner. I feel he would love to own a team, and that team is partly up for sale. There have been rumours in this paddock that with some backing, maybe from Bernie Ecclestone himself, he could find himself at least a minority stake owner at Alpine. But that can only happen after January, because I think he's under contract until then at Red Bull. But if I had to put money on it, he's going to Alpine. After Horner's incredible success in F1, he is a very rich man. But there's a big difference between being a very rich man and being able to buy a 10% stake in an F1 team. Most of the grid have a $1 billion valuation or more, and if Horner was to take a minority stake in Alpine, he would likely be looking at a $100 million buy-in at the low end. Depending on how much of the team Alpine wants to sell to give Horner operational control, the number could quite easily be far larger than that. This isn't the kind of money a career F1 team principal has sitting around, so someone like Bernie Ecclestone would be needed to back Horner in a buy-in. The interest would definitely be there as well. As I said earlier, Horner's achievements at Red Bull are appreciated across the sport. He is probably the most highly rated team principal from the past 15 years of F1, and someone like Bernie would have faith in backing him. Support wouldn't necessarily have to come from within F1 though. There are plenty of interested parties around the world that want to get involved in F1, which is booming at the moment. In the Middle East, there would be lots of interest in backing Horner to take a stake in a team. There is a lot of money in the Gulf states and plenty of excitement around Formula 1. With 4 races now held on the Arabian Peninsula, a Middle East-backed buy-in for Horner is definitely on the cards. Alpine being the perfect fit for Horner is about more than just money and desire though. Speaking on the F1 Show podcast, Karen Chandhog laid out why Horner, with the backing from Bernie Ecclestone, and Alpine could be perfect partners. He and Flavio are both very old friends of Bernie Ecclestone. Bernie brought Christian to F1 when Red Bull bought the team. He was instrumental in Christian getting the job back in 2005. Flavio doesn't want to be team principal. He doesn't want to run the team day to day. He's got Steve Nielsen there as the managing director, but I can imagine there's a few wheels and cogs being turned in the background for Christian to at least have a role there. There is a lot to like about a Christian Horner move to Alpine, and there is a lot of sense behind it. Does that mean it's going to happen though? Is it as simple as desire being back with money? Or do you think Horner's time away from F1 could be longer lived? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and if you want to support the channel, then make sure to check out our merch store at f1reverse.com to get yourself some sweet F1 inspired gear. Until next time, drive safe and bye for now.